Hello, it's Salimek. In today's video, we will be replacing brake pads on my 2017 Toyota Camry. The procedure will be the same for most cars. So after watching this, you can do this on any car in a right way. Here are all the tools and the products I will be using. We will need brake pad. Here is the part number, the one I'm using for my car. Silicone grease for the guide pins. We can't use conventional grease because it will destroy the rubber boots, but if you are using synthetic grease, it's not gonna damage the rubber boots. And the other reason I'm using this, because it's heavy duty and it can also take the heat. If we turn it over, it ranges between -45 to 550 Fahrenheit. Alright, next we have thread locker. We have three types of thread locker. We have red, orange, and blue. Red is high strength, and when you want to remove it, you have to heat up the bolt and then it will be removed. We have orange. It's high strength, but it's removable, so you don't have to heat it up when you remove it. And then we have medium strength, which is the blue one, and this is the one I will be using. And our bolt is 14mm, which is in the range between 6 and 20mm. Next product, we have anti-seize. I will be using anti-seize between the pads and the slider so the pads won't jam and it always moving freely. Brake cleaner for cleaning, 14mm for the guide pin. And also, we will need a 70mm for the guide pin. If it was twisting, we will hold it with 70mm. But it has to be thin, because if I use the one in my set, it's a bit thicker. It's not gonna go on, but if it's thinner, it will work. So I will show you in a minute. Torque wrench for torquing the bolt. We are working on some important part of the car, which is the brake. So we have to bolt it down again with manufacturer spec. And the last thing, gloves, because we will be using some chemicals and we have to be protected. Alright, now we know what we need from the products and the tools. Now we're gonna jack up the car and put it on a jack stand so we can work safely. So before jacking up the car and put it on a jack stand, make sure to loosen the lug nuts while the wheel on the ground, because this way it's way easier. Now we're gonna lower the jack on the jack stand, but keeping the jack over there for extra safety. Alright, the wheel is removed and we're gonna put it under the car for extra safety. Here I have a fake cover which I did a very long time ago, so I'm gonna remove these two screws and remove the cover. So when it comes to brake pad replacing, most people always saying that you have to replace the pad and also replace the rotor or resurface it. If you don't have any problem with the rotor, if you are driving on the road and you are braking on a high speed and you don't feel any shaking in the brake, it means the rotor is straight and not warped, so you don't have to replace it. And if you don't have any bump on the surface, especially here or here, it means that you don't need to resurface it again. So in this case, I'm just gonna replace the pad and that's it. So for removing brake pads on Toyota Camry and most Toyotas, you have only one bolt, which is 14mm. So we're gonna remove this and we can replace the pads. You can turn the wheel and it will make the job way easier. So before removing the pad, we have to push the piston because the new pad is thicker than the old one. So we're gonna push it with a screwdriver. There's a special tool for that, but I'm gonna show you how to do that without any special tools. So we're just gonna need a flat screwdriver and put it between the rotor like this. So when you see this movement, it means the piston is pushed all the way. Here is the 40mm I talked about. So we're gonna remove this and then we can remove this. Just like I expected, the guide pin also twisting. So we're gonna hold it with 70mm and then remove the 14mm. So you cannot use 70mm thick like this. It has to be thin like this, like 5mm. Okay, let's remove the springs. Alright, so before putting the new pads on, I'm gonna have to clean these because these are very important. These sliders, if they are stuck, the pad's gonna wear unevenly, so it's very important to clean these and put anti-seize. But I'm gonna remove these plates and clean underneath as well, because if underneath is rusted, it's gonna create a bump and then the pad's not gonna slide evenly. I will use a wire brush. Alright, next we're going to be working on the guide pins. We have one here and the other one here. This one is not bad. We can see it's moving and not stuck. But for the next brake pad changing, it will be stuck and we will have uneven wear. So it's better to clean it and put silicone grease every brake pad change. So we're going to remove this one. So if you see the guide pins like this, it means that it's not dirty, it's just dry. So we're gonna put silicone grease again and put it back. But if you see it's black, you're gonna have to clean the inside as well. So for that, you're gonna need a brake cleaner, spray some, and then dry it with paper towel or shap towel, and then put silicone grease again and put it back. But in my case, I'm just gonna wipe it and apply silicone grease again. Alright, we are done with the bottom side. We're gonna do the top side as well. I'm gonna put anti-seize and then put them on. Alright, the sliders and the guide pins are clean and greased. Now it's ready for the new pad. So before putting the new pads on, we have to put the backing plate and also the wear indicator on the new pad. And we have the old spring here, so we're not going to use this. It already comes with a new spring. So let's remove the plates and put it on the new one. Before putting the backing plate, I'm just going to clean it and put it on. Both clean now. Now I'm going to put them on. So this will be in the front because it has an indicator. So we're going to put this one on. And this is for the piston side. Alright, let's take two and also two springs. Alright, now we're going to put anti-seize on the new brake pads and then put them on. So when you clean all the sliders and put anti-seize, it's gonna slide in easily and it doesn't need any force, just like you saw it. Now we're gonna put the springs and then lower the caliper. Alright, we're gonna put the 40mm back and also put a drop of thread locker. Now we're gonna torque it to 34 Nm. Alright, we are done with this side, so we're gonna do the other side. The process will be exactly the same. Alright, now we're gonna jack up the car, move the jack stand, and then lower the car. Now we can torque the lug nut. Alright, we are done. There is one important step. We have to brake few times because we pushed the piston way far and now we have a gap. So we're gonna press the brake few times and you will feel it because the brake pedal going all the way down, and then you will feel it stops in the middle. So that is telling us the piston pushing the pedal and there is no gap between them now. And here are all the tools and the products I use for replacing brake pads on any car. I will make sure to put everything in the video description box below. Hope you found the video useful and learned something new. If it was, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.